County of Putnam is now sitting in regular session to transact all business required of it by law or any other business that may come before it at this time. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all.
Mr. Clerk, what do you have for us today?
Gentlemen, for this time I have for you a order to transfer from the General County Fund to the Putnam County Employee Benefit Fund the sum of $8,752.50. Also have an order to transfer from the General County Fund to Putnam County Employee Benefit Fund the sum of $8,651.50. And one is for September and one is for October.
That's the only orders you have? Make a motion to approve the orders and invoices that are reflected in the edit registers as presented by our county clerk.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of prior meeting minutes.
I make a motion we approve prior meeting minutes as they've been presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Erroneous assessments, combine and divide.
Yeah.
There were none. Personnel payroll changes.
Make a motion to approve personnel and payroll changes as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Payment of bills.
Make a motion to approve payment of bills as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner reports.
We did have a health department meeting this past Tuesday. Just some numbers as of that day to share with you that Dr. Roby shared with us. As of that day, we had 268 active COVID-19 cases, 195 of those in the last 7 days. There were only 20 Putnam County school positive cases. So we have seen a decline over the last 45 to 60 days. We're also reviewing clean indoor air regulation. There's a public comment period open now. You can go to the Putnam County Health Department's website, and there is a link to leave comments that will be open until November 11th. We plan on taking that up with a vote at our December 28th meeting. And as you both are aware, the County Commission has 30 days from the time that a Board of Health makes a change in rules or laws to bring that issue before the County Commission if you so choose. That's all I have at this time.
Mr. Ellis.
I have a Parks and Recreation Board meeting on November 4th at 6 o'clock at Valley Park. On November 9th at 6 o'clock, the Fire Board will meet. And that's all I have.
Our planning commission met on Tuesday, and we approved a major subdivision, which allowed for property to be sold, which should lead to a large development in the area. Solid Waste Authority is in conjunction with the Putnam County Commission, is going to do a cleanup this weekend at Marina Park. And Region 2 Workforce Development Board was supposed to meet today, and they did not have a quorum. We will be going over several items from the Planning Commission later tonight. Is there anyone in the audience that has a public comment about anything that is not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. Estate settlements, fiduciary orders.
Just need a motion for the president to sign off on the estate settlements and fiduciary orders.
Make a motion to approve the estate settlements and fiduciary orders and authorize the president to sign.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Budget revisions.
I do have one budget revision. I've got a request from Department 700 Sheriff's Department to increase training by $2,000 and decrease supplies by $2,000.
Make a motion to approve the sheriff's budget revision as presented.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Do you have several resolutions, or is there
I've
something we
got-
can do quickly?
I've got about a dozen orders, so we can wait till the
I'll
end
hold
for
those
that.
till the end then. Agency board appointments,
I don't believe we have any.
don't have any? And no board interviews? WVU Extension Office update and introduction of 4-H program coordinator.
So, thank you. First, I'd like to thank the commissioners for having us here, introduce Rachel. Those of you that don't know me, I'm Ben Goff. I'm the Ag and Natural Resource Agent for Putnam and Mason County, and also serve as their county program coordinator for the Extension Office. This is Rachel Neal. I'll let the commissioners grill her here in a minute. So I submitted to you all kind of a quarterly update, a little bit more than a quarterly update. You also have a print copy in front of you, and I have a couple extra copies back there for those who don't have it. I won't go through its entirety because it's about 10 pages long, but just to kind of give you all an update on where we're at. We are officially now in the new location in Eleanor, in the same lot as Piggly Wiggly down from the post office. As Andy asked me this morning, we did get the air conditioner fixed. I know Ron and Andy came and met with us with Gordon Gee, and about the hottest day of the year, and the air was broke. We did get that fixed. It still goes up to 76 degrees at sometimes, but we figured out how to turn that down. For the most part, we renovated ourselves. We still got a few minor things to do, but nothing more just cosmetic. Some of the personnel changes, Mary Ann Neese, who was the former secretary, when I was here, she chose not to come back after June 30th, mainly to just enjoy retirement and some kind of small business opportunities she wanted to pursue. Emma Browning was rehired as a secretary, administrative secretary on July 19th after the fair. Rachel Neal, like I said, is the new 4-H program coordinator. She started on September 7th. So it's just a little bit under 2 months for her. Some of her background, she has a bachelor's in ag education and extension from WVU and an MA in preschool education from Marshall. So she's equally represented kind of across all the state. Chuck Talbot has been helping during this transition, mainly to kind of help keep GPL going and the Master Gardeners, facilitating that. Of course, the fair, we helped however we could with the fair, as we usually do, registration, help find judges, any way we can. We had a total of 118 youth exhibit at the livestock at the fair, which is down a little bit mainly because of COVID. People weren't sure whether to buy animals or not with COVID guidelines. The sale was still really good. It's been the highest since I've been here at a little over $312,000. Total 4-H exhibits, we had 140, which was down probably again due to COVID, and we had a little bit lower enrollment. Probably one of the low points was the open division, what we call the open division in the exhibit hall, the vegetables and produce and canned goods and stuff like arts and crafts. They were down. I know that was one of the top things on our list. After the fair, we sat down to figure out where we can improve. So we've come up with several different ideas, and one of them, the Western Conservation District Board we're talking with them. They're willing to donate some additional money to help increase premiums. The premiums right now are $3 for blue, $2.1 for red and white. I think we could easily increase those to 10, 7, and 5. I'm meeting them next month or December meeting to kind of go over some of the plans for that. We've also talked about doing a hay contest, a county hay contest, which we can make an educational event too, and also have like a $100 prize, stuff like that. So try to increase enrollment. 4-H, I'll let Rachel talk about some of her stuff, but in terms of hires, I don't think we could have found a better person for Putnam County. She is a Putnam County resident. She's a former, not just 4-H member, but also a 4-H leader. The hiring committee, we had several good candidates. Rachel was the last, and we all kind of were back and forth until Rachel came, and then it was pretty unanimous. And you look at what she's done in the last 2 months, I mean, I'm not shy about saying I think she's done more in 2 months than I've seen done in at least 2 years. She has done just tremendous, a go-getter, jumped right on top of everything. You know, she knows what, having past experience, she knows some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses. And more importantly, I think she knows how to improve some of those weaknesses and get people around her. She's been active. You can see some of the things in this document, what she's been done. To me, one of the most impressive things is enrollment. Last year, we had 163 people. Enrollment opened October 1st, and we're already at 150 people, so we're just about matched. We have more volunteers now. We had 32 last year. We're at 50, I think you told me, around 50. So we increased that. And of the 150 enrolled, about a third are new enrollments. And she's been going out promoting it, getting in touch with the schools. I think she sent, 9,000 flyers to kids in the school system, handing those out, and it's really paying off. One of the things that we have talked about, and I'm excited that she's kind of took the lead on this, was starting spin clubs, which are special interest clubs, so kids get more hand-on training in something they're interested in, and we can use these for not just training, but preparing for contests and everything else. So we're planning on having an event in November with that. With the family and community development, Tim Sayers gave several cooking demonstrations and classes throughout. It's actually where he's at today. He was assisting with the Venison 101 in the school system, helping show how to process and food safety. In his ACDS class, the Apprenticeship for Child Development, which is basically to be a certified child care provider. He has started that here in September, and it goes through December. I don't remember the total enrollment. I can't get a hold of them today, but I know they had enough to split it in 2 separate sections, so I don't know the exact number. On my side, the ag side, since we've talked last, I've tried to keep track of the number of calls. I think that's kind of an undervalued from a impact statement impact. So since June through end of October today, we've had 188 calls for the ag department in ours. 60 of those have been kind of hort and crop gardening. 40 of those agronomic crops, hay fields, corn, and livestock. And I've tried to put an economic value to that. Basically what that recommendation was, if they didn't, what would be the amount of value lost? And there's 188 calls. It's just shy of $16,000. I'm willing to share that. I'm not an economist or a financial person, but that was just some cowboy math. Some of the other things I helped organize 2 grazing schools at University Farms throughout the state. Those will eventually have an impact in Putnam County. This was kind of, other states have those. This was kind of a trial period. Let us work out the kinks, because we did a lot of handling demonstrations with cattle, how to work them, how to set up a fence, a temporary fencing system. And so the two ones we did worked out pretty good, so now we're thinking about expanding those throughout the state, and one of those will be in this region, preferably somewhere close to Putnam County if I have a say-so in it, which I will. I also worked with the Conservation Agency as part of a task force. We actually were able to get a new, what they call EQUIP program, basically cost share for producers. We were able to start a program for strictly weed control, mainly on invasive species and pasture systems. It was the Western District had approved it last month, so we'll start taking applications. Those are Putnam County residents. That's basically money to help control weeds in the pasture. And rather than take what I call a spray and pray approach, which is just herbicides, we're looking at a whole broad spectrum integrated approach. So basically not only will they do herbicide cost, seeding cost, changes in grazing management, stuff like that. It'll be up to $5,000 per year per producer, maximum 3 years. I do serve on the board as a couple other, as a state representative on 2 national boards. Bottom line with both of those, they're both forage and livestock related. There'll be some, because of COVID, instead of having at a location in another state, will be virtually, so those will be open to Putnam County producers. Southern Bull Test we have several research projects, and I included them in here. I won't bore you with some of the details on the research, but most of them are all strictly production-based. How can we improve not just production, but profitability? The bull test started, we have a total of 94 bulls, 103 heifers. Master gardeners are finally back to meeting post-COVID. They've had 2 meetings, I think now, and got a 3rd meeting scheduled. They're still kind of working out what they want to do, but we do have 3 new Putnam County residents going through the certification process to become master gardeners. So that'll take any questions if you all have them or comments.
Ben, I appreciate this report. I think I'll commend you for putting together this information. It really shows us what Extension Office is doing and the impact that's having. Couple questions that I'll ask is, how's the relationship with the university? I know we had a new dean come on, we got a chance to meet. Do you feel like you're getting adequate support?
I think we are. One thing I forgot to mention too, we're actually having a county needs assessment on Monday at the Elnor Fire Hall at 6:30. It's open to the public. I know Andy's couldn't make it, but if anybody wants to come, it's basically just to kind of get a better idea how we can better meet the needs of the county. But I think the relationship with the dean is going to work out. I think he does. Like we talked before, the past budget was a little bit of a wake-up call. We know now what we need to fix, and I think we're going down that road. I think he, time will tell, but I think he will be he has a vision, and I think it's going to work out better for the state. With that, I'll let you all.
Hi, I'm Rachel Neal. I'm the new Putnam County 4-H coordinator here, program coordinator. Like Ben said, I was a past 4-H'er. I didn't start out at like high school. I started when I was 5, and then I went through the whole program and aged out at 21. And then I instantly went back in to help the program out, being a leader and volunteering at the fair, and anything that I could get my hands on to help the kids with, I continued with. And then I knew at the age of 10 that I wanted to do this. This was my dream job. I wanted to do this, so I changed my degrees when I went to WVU to be able to do this. It's taken a few years, but I'm finally here, and I'm really excited to be able to help out Putnam 4-H. Like Ben said, my main focus right now is to get our enrollment up. Our numbers dropped drastically from COVID, not just in the clubs, but fair, camp. We didn't get to have camp the last 2 years, so we've lost a lot of our older members. So my main focus right now has been on enrollment. It's up, I think you said 33% with new members. So that's including ages 5 to 9, and then the 9-year-olds coming in. I sent out flyers to the schools to help out. I've had a lot of people call me this week about interested in joining the clubs. I've set up booths at Tractor Supply and at the farmer's market. I'll be there again Saturday handing out things. I'm not only trying to get kids, members, but I'm also trying to get more volunteers to help out with, and they have to go through the vetting process through WVU. But I want to get as many volunteers so we can kind of open up more opportunities for kids in this county that, the volunteers have interest in, to help get these kids involved in more things, more geared towards like middle school age too, because I feel like there's not a whole lot for middle school age kids to do. So that's kind of the age group that I'm getting a little bit of focus on too, because they haven't had anything in the past years, and elementary lower, because the kids, they get teen leaders and things like that when they're older. But like I said, enrollment right now, and then the special interest groups, like Ben said, think I'm going to be running 3, and Ben's going to take over a couple, and then I'm going to try to get some volunteers to help out, and then hopefully we'll get some more rolling when we show that we're trying to do some things. Do you have any questions for me?
Rachel, I'll say that we're excited to see you here in that position as a commissioner that sits on the extension board. This commission made some, has been called a kind of a wake-up call, some drastic cuts to the budget, and the response is a full-time position for 4-H, so you're here, so we're excited. I think that shows that we support 4-H here in Putnam County. One thing I'll encourage you to do with camp coming up, this commission also has been very generous in supporting campers. We'd love to see a camp happen. A lot of those kids, that's the only vacation they get is that camp. So
Yep. We have actually tentatively set the date for June 25th through the 30th. I just have to run it through Leaders Association
Yeah,
first. so-
whatever you can do to have that camp,
Yeah.
I think it's very important for those kids that they get to
Absolutely.
attend.
Absolutely.
I think I speak for all of us. We're happy to see a person filling that role, and we're happy you're here and you're excited that you're bringing.
Yep, thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Veterans Day Appreciation Proclamation.
So with Veterans Day coming up before our next meeting, we want to go ahead and read this proclamation now. Veterans Day is celebrated or recognized on Thursday, November 11th. There will be a ceremony here behind this building, in front of the Judicial Building, on Sunday, November 7th at 2 p.m. If you have a chance to attend, I was able to be there last year. It's really something to experience and understand why we recognize and celebrate Veterans Day. Whereas Veterans Appreciation Day has been established in Putnam County as a day to honor the American patriots who answered the call of duty, preserving our freedoms and often making the ultimate sacrifice. And whereas Putnam County will celebrate this day as an opportunity for us all to recognize the sacrifices made by all of those American veterans who served our country in its defense of world peace. And whereas the unwavering commitment of our Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Coast Guard have preserved our freedoms and saved millions around the world from tyranny. And whereas we continue to draw inspiration from the heroism and dedication of those who currently serve and sacrifice for the cause of liberty and justice, and whereas we encourage all citizens to unite as a grateful nation to demonstrate their support for veterans on November 7th, 2021, be it therefore resolved that we, the Putnam County Commission, thank all men and women who have stood watch over America in the armed forces of the United States of America, and we hereby name the week of November 7th, 2021 as Veterans Appreciation Week in Putnam County. Signed by all three commissioners and our county clerk.
What was the time on the event for Sunday again?
2 p.m.
I would encourage anyone who has not participated in that event to come to the event. It is a real good event for the veterans. Dilapidated and abandoned enforcement agency cases, discussion and decision to possibly grant an extension for DAIA case 2021-25.
Yes, I'm asking the county commission on behalf of Benjamin King, in this case, if you would grant him an extension. I know they have 3 more weeks before their time expires, but they've been sick a lot, and they've really have tried. So I would like to ask the county commission on their behalf tonight, and they're here as well, that you would grant them an extension on their time.
Any suggestions on time frame or any requests?
They're here tonight if y'all would like to speak and ask.
You would come up here.
Like I say, my name is Benjamin King. The whole reason, I haven't had the property cleaned up, I initially wasn't the full owner of the property. There's 3 other individuals. As time has progressed, they didn't want to deal with none of this at all. No money involvement, no nothing. They wrote the property off to me, put it all off on me. So, I'm disabled, have Crohn's disease really bad. My wife has suffered with COVID. Both of my kids did. All the road projects going on, if I could have got a piece of equipment last weekend, the house would be done. You know what I mean? The chimney slowed me down because the chimney was so tall. First piece of equipment I rented, could not safely take it down. It would have landed on a neighbor's house, and there's another big problem, you know what I mean? So, if I can get equipment rented in the next few weeks, I can have it done. If not, I don't know how it's going to go, you know what I mean? Because all the road projects and stuff like that, I have to have a track machine to get in there now to be able to move all the stuff.
So you think 30 days wouldn't help you, or?
I'm not possible. I don't want to say and not be sure, you know what I
Okay.
mean? I mean, when I got to the place, sir, there was some brush that was 15 foot tall, you know what I mean? The home was still standing, majority of the home, still had a roof on the front porch. I've got all the brush that was growed completely up, all down, because like I say, I had a wheeled machine. I can't push thousands of pounds with wheeled machine on dirt. It just don't work too well, you know what I mean? If I had a track machine the same week, it come a rain, like blowed out a tire, I was down the whole day. Like, it's just been one thing after another.
Where are we at in this process?
The final order has been served. He's got 3 weeks to comply before the sanctions are imposed.
I mean, I do have.
So you have, I'm sorry, so you have 3 weeks before sanctions can be imposed?
Right.
And you're recommending a 30-day extension to take that?
At least 30 days, at least.
30 days to that 3 weeks or 30 days from today?
Right, so,
30 days to the 3 weeks.
right, so 3 weeks and then 30
So
days would start
that
at
gives you pretty much till the end of the year.
almost 60.
Right. I mean, I should be able to have it done by then, as long as I can get equipment. I mean, I have no problem doing it, you know what I mean? I had the money saved up, like everything else, you know what I mean? As long as something don't go on a ride with my family, you know, kids get sick, you know, my wife's out of work, I'm gonna have to use that money, you know what I
Right.
mean? There's no more COVID relief. Last time my wife went off from work, we were just done. You know, there was no going and getting, everybody else and their brother that didn't have a job went and signed up on it. So then it hurt everybody else, you know what I mean? Working class people that really work to make a living.
All right, Mr. King, I'll make a motion that we grant a 30-day extension. You know, we've seen progress made. We understand your situation. I'll make a motion to grant 30-day extension past the day that sanctions were due.
I'll second that.
Can we add to that we would have him come back and report to us in
Yeah.
December?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And then
I'll,
we'll take it up again then?
yeah, I'll amend that to notify the homeowner to report back the progress.
Okay. Second.
Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion and decision to possibly dismiss case number 2021-57.
This is property owner Kathy A. Lovejoy at 312 Canal View Road in Red House, tax map 164A, Parcel 8. I'm asking the county commission to dismiss this case based on the property has been cleaned up, and it's, in my opinion, is in compliance with our ordinance.
Is Ms. Lovejoy here?
I don't know what she looks like, so,
I was just curious. That's
yeah, I don't think so.
I make a motion that we dismiss case number 2021-57 as requested.
Second.
Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Discussion and decision whether to order the landowners to comply with the recommendations contained within prior day of complaint, case number 2021-30.
Yeah, that was removed from the last agenda amendment, so I don't know if you got a old, but
I'm
That's-
sorry, would you say that again?
I amended the agenda. That shouldn't be on there, so
Okay, you
I'm
do not
sorry.
need, okay,
Yeah, I apologize.
no problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I'm just not feeling well.
Our next one
I'm
is
confused.
2021-45.
Is that right? Okay. Okay, because I have the order, just confused. Okay.
Are we
Yes.
correct that number 21,
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah,
21-30
so
is not supposed to be on the agenda?
it's not supposed to be on
Okay.
there, yeah.
So the next one is
Sorry.
2021-45.
Yes, this is for David R. Caldwell. He has requested a public hearing.
Okay?
I don't know, do you want to speak first, or do you want me to
Well, we have
speak?
to open
or-
the public hearing first. Do we need Tina to go over the facts in the case before we open the public hearing? So Tina, if you'll go over those with us, and then we'll have the public hearing, which will be the time you'll get to speak.
Okay. I want to skip ahead to the newly evidence. So the newly evidence has revealed that David R. Caldwell does own, can you guys hear me? I'm sorry.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, let me scoot this closer. Now, newly evidence has revealed that David R. Caldwell does own the properties in question. Tax map 162, parcel 93, and tax map 162, parcel 87 in their entirety, and is not part of the estate of John M. Caldwell Sr. The tax map cards, deed, sheriff's tax receipts, and tax assessor reports are attached as Exhibit D. The respondent's brother, John M. Caldwell Jr., owns the abutting properties, tax map 162, parcel 90.3, and tax map 162, parcel 17. The tax map, map cards, deed, sheriff's tax receipts, and tax assessor reports are attached as Exhibit E. It appears that John M. Caldwell Jr. is paying taxes for tax map 162, parcel 17, which has been reserved as a right-of-way that extends from Route 817 to the Canal River at 120 feet in length. It has been determined in our investigation that there is no injunction or a domestic violence protection order or any other legal document stating David R. Caldwell cannot utilize this right-of-way. The deed showing that this is a reserved right-of-way is attached as Exhibit F, with the section stated above highlighted in yellow. There was a petition filed by David R. Caldwell against his brother John M. Caldwell Jr. for an emergency protective order, which was filed by the Putnam County Circuit Court on August 22, 2013, for a dispute over the estate of John M. Caldwell Sr., but the court denied and dismissed the petition because the allegations in the petition did not meet the criteria for clear and convincing evidence of immediate and present danger. A copy of the petition is attached as Exhibit G. On August 17, 2016, the Putnam County Circuit Court filed civil action number 13C-287, of which the estate of John M. Caldwell was awarded $265,919.00 from David R. Caldwell for total damages claimed for defendant's waste and appropriation of estate assets. The order also states that the defendant, David R. Caldwell, was not present for the hearing. The order was sent to the defendant and his attorney. The order is attached as Exhibit H. No other suits have been filed by either David R. or John M. Caldwell Jr. against each other since this date. According to both circuit and magistrate courts of Putnam County, West Virginia, as stated to the DEA Program Director on October 7, 2021. Conclusions of fact. It has been determined that David R. Caldwell solely owns the property where the dilapidated structure and overgrown vegetation is situated. It is not the estate of John M. Caldwell Sr., of which his brother John M. Caldwell Jr. is the administrator. It has been determined that there is no injunction, domestic violence protection order, or any other legal matter preventing David R. Caldwell from entering his own property. There have been court matters previously, but none pending currently. It has been determined that there is a shared right-of-way on the property, but if the respondent does not feel comfortable using the shared right-of-way because of the contentious nature between family members, then the defendant can contact the Department of Highways to obtain a permit to create an easement for his property. Therefore, considering the newly evidence in this case, there is no reason that is preventing the respondent, David R. Caldwell, from bringing his property into compliance with the Putnam County, West Virginia, dilapidated and abandoned enforcement agency ordinances, and correcting the matter as described in the formal complaint filed against his property.
I make a motion that we open a public hearing regarding DEA case 2021-45
Second.
Okay, the public hearing is hereby open.
My name's David Caldwell, and I do own that property. And it used to be the prettiest lot on the whole Treasure's Bottom. I had that orchard behind what y'all's calling the dilapidated, but it's not dilapidated. There's not a single shingle on that building missing. There is not a sag in the roof. It's cinder block and brick, and the rest of it is on 4x6 treated posts buried in the ground 3 feet. I'm a union insulator. I get to work with a lot of engineers and a lot of architects. And I've took all the pictures I need of it and showed it to them. Because there's no way you can say that building's dilapidated, fallen down, or anything. And the reason I haven't been over there cutting and stuff is because I had just planted that in Timothy and orchard grass when all the trouble started. And they said that I had threatened them, and the police came and took my guns, but I was the only person there who found a gun. And when I tried to press charges, say that they had to get their guns taken from them, they said you can't do it, and wouldn't let me do it. Now, I work in a lot of courthouses. There ain't a courthouse in this state that I haven't worked in. I'm probably one of the best in my trade. You know what I mean? And I work hard. And I get to retire in December, and I think you're going to hear a lot more about me once I retire in December. Because I do plan on pressing charges against Putnam County and stuff, and file lawsuits and stuff, but I'm going to do it in Ohio through the Interstate Commerce Act, I think that's what they call it, and stuff. But that building was never abandoned. But if I get in trouble, I can't work in Huttonville, Mount Olive, federal courthouses and stuff. Like I work in all the federal courthouses, state courthouses, and everything like that. That's probably been 80% of my work over the years in regional jails. I did all the installation work in Taggart Regional Jail, and I've worked in all 10 of the regional jails in the state and stuff. And you just can't go and get in trouble and go work in these things. And sometimes, I'll give you an example. They done away with my lawyer. They let him quit. And I never received them papers that she was talking about, that they dismissed it through my lawyer and stuff. I've never had a court date in here. I went over there over 30 times. They were even sending me court dates when there wasn't even no court. I'd go over there, and I'd go in the courtroom, and they say, it's not being heard today. I've done that over 30 times. I went and got me a lawyer. Jerry McCormick was my lawyer. And it was the same thing. They just kept canceling and canceling and canceling. And I wanted a jury trial. They never gave me a jury trial, never gave me a trial. And sorry if I get upset over this stuff.
But if we could, let's focus. I understand there's
Okay.
surrounding issues. Let's focus on the
That's the
building.
reason I haven't went over there and messed around, because if I go over there and mess around, I'm gonna get in trouble. That's just the way it is. But now the thing is, that right-of-way coming in there, all that junk piled on there, I don't know where, that I think came from an old barn that sat on Karen Thaxton. And they put that stuff there to block me so I couldn't get into my garage. You understand?
Yeah.
All that junk right there in the road, right there in front of that garage, that's not mine, as far as I know. It was just taken there and dropped there. And like I say, I think it came from an old barn that sat on Karen Thaxton's property back there in the back.
Ms. Peck, the structure, is that the main complaint, the one structure?
Yes, if you look at the pictures that I've submitted, the tax map particularly, you can see that there's a structure that sits on that parcel. I think I even provided a Google image of actually what is there. You can't even see the structure because of the overgrown vegetation has seized the structures. So, yeah, no clue what is there, other than what the Google image has provided for us. Should be in the main front there.
Can't really see it.
Yeah. May I ask a few questions? Mr. Caldwell, you say that you showed photos to others that you work with, and they say that it's not dilapidated. Do you have those photos that you can present to us?
No, I didn't bring it. And also, I got insurance on it. I've always kept the insurance on that place.
Are there windows in it?
What?
Are there windows in the building?
No,
Okay.
there's no windows in it.
Okay, and you also stated that it's never been abandoned.
No,
Is someone living in it now?
no, it's a garage. It's a barn, it's a shelter. I got a tractor, a boat, and a bunch of tools and stuff in it. It's been broke into a half a dozen times. It was about every other 4 or 5 weeks I was having to go over there and put a lock on it.
Okay, and when you say they did away with your lawyer, who is they?
Cyrus, Judge Cyrus.
Judge Stowers dismissed your lawyer?
He let him go, and he gave me 3 court dates, and I went over there all 3 court dates, and then the next thing I know, they say, you didn't show up.
Okay,
But I tell you what, for over 3 years, I was over there all the time,
okay.
and listen to this, I went over there with court papers, and I walked in over there, and I said, here, I'm here for this. And they said, they'd look at my court paper, and they say, there's not even no court in session right now.
Okay.
We don't know who sent that to you. I said, right there. Y'all sent it to me.
Let me just ask a few questions for short answers, because I'm trying to get a grip on it. Were you provided an attorney by the court?
No.
So it's hard for me to understand how a judge dismisses, because usually an attorney has to request being dismissed.
He did.
So your attorney request, okay, I'm just trying to get my mind clear here, okay? And when you say they blocked a right-of-way, who supposedly blocked the right-of-way?
I don't know who put the stuff there.
Okay.
But that junk in front of there, I didn't put it there.
So you're saying somebody dumped on your property?
I'd say my brother or somebody like that to block me from getting into my garage.
Is the right-of-way a shared right-of-way, or is
The
the right-of-way
right-of-way
on?
is supposed to be an open right-of-way because there's a gas well back there, which T's Oil and Gas uses, and I use it. I was the one that put the right-of-way in there.
Okay.
I was the one that built
Is
the
the
road.
right-of-way on your property,
No.
or is it shared
It's
property boundaries, someone, one person, and
It's
someone?
almost right on the line. It's
Okay.
3 foot, my property, it's about 2 feet from my property, 3 feet from my property.
I have a better grip now.
So Ms. Peck, were you able to, these pictures are taken from a distance of the structure. Were you able to have anything close up to the structure picture-wise, or
Well,
is this too much vegetation to get to?
If you remember, the formal complaint and the data board recommendations says to cut the overgrown vegetation so we can go back and assess the structures on the property because you can't get to them.
Okay, so the hearing now is to determine whether Mr. Caldwell needs to
Yes.
just clean up the brush and vegetation so we can better assess the building itself.
Yes.
Okay. Are you able to get to the building to do that?
I brush hogged the field, which I kind of had doubts about doing that, because it was blackberries and stuff, but, that stops a lot of people from coming in there from the backside and stealing from me. I mean, I used to have a neighbor down on the other end named Chris, and they stole so much stuff from him that the insurance company told him if anything else is reported stolen, they're going to cancel his insurance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's Putnam County, I mean.
My question is just.
But yes, I do, I got the means to clean it up.
If you
But
could-
there's some stuff I don't want to cut down, and
But I think the main thing is, we would like to have a good look at the building, the structure. So is it to a point now where Ms. Peck could go in and get a good view of the building?
Based on the pictures
the
I've
front, you
seen.
can't get in there because that equipment's sitting there. I don't know who put it there. I ain't gonna remove it, because if I remove it, they'll say I stole it.
You're not going to remove the equipment from the building?
No, I mean from the front of it, that's blocking the road.
There's
I got you.
something, whatever's in the road.
Yeah, there's several pieces of
Well, what-
equipment right there in the middle of the road. I
What
mean,
we need you to do.
but I can take pictures of it and bring them back to you or send them to you.
Well, what we need you to do is remove the brush around it so that we can get in and see. And if what you say is true, the building is in good shape,
It is in good shape.
then you'll just need to remove the brush and debris, whatever it is that's on your property. Is that how you guys see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue is to confirm that the structure is in the shape that you
Well, I can take
allege.
pictures of that without cutting down the tree.
Well, part of our task is to do both.
The what?
To do both, because we've had other areas where the vegetation and everything was overgrown, very similar to yours, and we had them clean it up because that's a part of the process. So you would still have to do that, even if the building is sound.
So not that we're looking to, if it's just an open field and you want it to grow to whatever, but within a certain area of that structure, so we can confirm the structure is intact, not a hazard, and dilapidated according to our ordinance.
I wouldn't be paying $365 a year for insurance if it was dilapidated.
I can understand that, but that's the ordinance that's in place, and that's how we have to interact with everybody on the same level.
Okay. Well,
so are
sometime
you-
this month, I'll cut the trees down from around it then.
Okay, if you would let Ms. Peck know when that is, so she could do another inspection after that.
Yeah, I like her. I'll let her know.
Okay.
Help us help you.
Well, I get kind of excited sometimes,
I understand.
especially about this stuff here.
That's fine.
You know what I mean?
I understand.
Because I was kind of screwed real bad.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of issues there.
And there is a lot of issues. That's why I've been waiting for this day, though. I get retired at the end of December. And then y'all probably hear a lot about me because I'm going to go to the news, media, everybody, and just keep on and keep on. If I have to stand out with a sign on my back and my front, about the things that were done.
Right. So
Okay.
we're still in public hearing part, so
And I appreciate it.
we need to close public hearing.
Is there anybody else who wants to speak to this case?
Any other neighbors?
I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
I got a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 So given Mr. Caldwell's response, what do you say you can do with it, 30 days? Sounds like.
Mr. Caldwell, did you say you could have it cleaned up enough within 30 days?
Yeah, I'll go there and cut the trees from around.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that regarding case number 2021-45, that we allow Mr. Caldwell 30 days to give Ms. Peck a view of the structure before we move forward.
Second?
I got a motion, a second, a little discussion. Larry, is there anything else that we need to do in order to follow the ordinance? Or do we just give him the 30 days and now he can appeal that? Because we're ruling that he has 30 days to do it. He can appeal that if he wishes. Is that correct? Now, how long does he have to do that?
Well, there's not really a final order yet, but
That
I
is the
guess
final order.
It is
Yes,
final?
that is the final order.
Okay.
So he has 60 days.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Then yes, after the entry of that order, he will be able to appeal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you,
Done this month.
okay.
I mean, not this month, but,
Right, November. Yep.
If you do that, it would show very much a good faith effort to the county commission here. Okay, thank you so much.
When I get excited, she calms me down.
Okay.
I mean, you don't know half the stuff. I mean, like I say, when I had the prettiest place there, you can't tell me I didn't, at one time. And things that were done over there in that courthouse, beyond belief, but, I've been working in courthouses and pulled $30,000 out of something, and $100 bills, so. I've seen it all.
Okay, thank you much.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell.
We need to move on. Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Case number, let's see, 2021-44.
Yes, that would be Mary F. McClung. I don't see her lawyer here, nor is she here, but she did give me a phone call this afternoon saying that she couldn't make it. So I'm thinking they forfeited their public hearing.
Is there no one here on behalf of Mary F. McClung?
Larry, do we still need to open a public hearing and close it and just show that there was no response?
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we open a public hearing regarding day of case number 2021-44.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The public hearing is now open. Anyone wish to speak to day of case number 2021-44?
I make a motion, we close public hearing.
Second?
Got a motion and a second to close. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So on this one,
This is a final order as well.
this is the final order, so you're going to
Yes.
send us a final order? We need to go ahead and vote on the final order, Larry. Okay. Would you go through the particulars for us so that
Sure,
I'm comfortable
they're-
with voting that
Or
way?
maybe just the update.
The
Since-
newly evidence.
Yes, the new evidence,
I
yes.
love saying that term. Okay, yes. So the newly evidence in this case, according to the Real Estate Tax Assessor's Office, the property is classified as an inactive farm. In addition, the flat barn, which is AB2 on the assessor's review worksheet, and the lean-to-lean, which is ALI, or AL1, I'm sorry, are both structurally unsound and have been given a total value of $1,500. Both structures were also built in 1950 and not during the Civil War era, as the respondent said the last meeting we had. The residential review document and the West Virginia Real Estate Assessment Data Report are attached as Exhibit D. The conclusions of fact: it has been determined that the overgrown vegetation has seized the structures situated on the property, and that the respondent and her lawyer has both admitted to this issue. Considering the facts, the final order will give them an additional 60 days to clean up the overgrown vegetation so that a further evaluation of the structures can be assessed. In addition, given the time of year, the first frost shall occur within the stated time frame, and I think that was yesterday, I think. However, considering the newly evidence, both structures on the property have been assessed as unsound and given a value of $1,500. Thus, the demolition cost or the cost of maintenance and operation exceeds the apparent value of the structures on the property. And according to the assessor's office, has already been deemed unsound. In addition, it has also been determined that there is no historical significance of either structure on stated property, especially since they were built in 1950 and not during the Civil War era, as previously stated by the respondent.
All right, so with the final order, they still have 60 days to get the property right.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we approve the final order for day of case number 2021-44 as presented.
Second.
And I did understand you to say that the order would include that they go ahead and demolish the building?
No.
No?
If you want me to amend that order, I can put that on the next agenda. That is up to you. This is only to determine if probable cause has been found that they need to cut down the overgrown vegetation. Yeah.
Would the commission like to take up the building at this time, since it's already been determined to be unsound by the assessor's office, or do you want to go?
So you would have to bring that before us at our next meeting?
Yes, I would have to do an amended order on the
So should
formal
we-
complaint itself.
But if we wait
Yeah.
then the 60 days would start from that date, I guess, as well, right?
The 60 days would start the time they receive this in their hands. Yeah, this
Yeah.
order.
Question for attorney?
Yeah.
Can we add that on later without extending the 60-day terms if we decide the building does need to be removed? Because it looks like it does to me.
I would say that that would extend the 60-day period.
If we put it on now, would it extend it 60 days?
No, if you put it on now, I think it would you would just have the 60 days. I
Okay.
think if you wait till the next meeting and make an amendment to it,
Right. So you're saying we can amend final order to add the structure at this point? Is that correct? Sorry.
yes, there's a recommendation from the DAA board, but that is only a recommendation to
Okay,
you.
so we can make the final order. We can add, okay. All right. So I'll amend my motion to include, on the basis from the assessor's office, to tear down the structure as part of the final order.
Second?
Yeah, I have a motion and second. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Case number 2021-41.
Yes, this is John M. and Lisa A. Estes. They are here tonight along with her lawyer, Mr. Dorsey. And I think I'll just skip ahead to the newly evidence. This is just the findings of facts of what has occurred after the formal complaint was served on them. So the newly evidence is the respondent stated at the September 9th, 2021 DAA meeting that her husband John had multiple hospital stays since last July. Mr. Dorsey explained that the respondent had contacted 6 contractors to demolish the buildings, and the estimates were around $20,000. The Google Earth images showing an age progression between March 9th, 2003 and October 18th, 2015 clearly shows the overgrown vegetation overtaking the building in the top right quadrant of the parcel and behind the main structure and left quadrant of the parcel. In addition, beside the outbuilding on the left, you can see debris, which is still on the property. Furthermore, a Google Earth image from 2018 depicts that the structures are vacant and dilapidated, which was before the COVID-19 pandemic. A copy of the Google images and the meeting minutes are attached as Exhibit D. Conclusions of fact: comparing the 2018 Google image to the initial inspection on-site photographs taken on August 6, 2021, the dilapidated main structure has sustained more irreversible and extensive damage, which has caused the foundation to implode, and the structure is not salvageable. Considering that the respondent has owned the stated property since May 21st, 2004, they have almost had 7 years to either rehabilitate the property or demolish the structures and clean up the debris. Therefore, considering the newly evidence in this case, the stated property has been in a dilapidated state since at least 2015, if not before. Thus, the property owner has had ample time to rehabilitate the structures. However, sometime after 2018, the main structure has received considerable damage from what appears to be from an external force, which has caused the foundation to fail and is now a considerable liability. It has been determined that the property owner has had enough time to rectify the matter as well as pull any resources. Thus, there is no reason that is preventing the respondent, John M. and Lisa A. Estes, from bringing their property into compliance with the West Virginia, Putnam County, Dilapidated and Abandoned Enforcement Agency ordinances and correcting the matter as described in the formal complaint filed against their property.
I'll make a motion, we open a public hearing regarding DAA case number 2021-41.
Second?
Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The case is now open for public hearing.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Attorney Rick Dorsey for the Estises. I have some questions for you, Mrs. Peck, all right?
Yes.
All right. Under your ordinance.
Mr. Dorsey, if you wouldn't mind, this is recorded. Yeah, you're
Sorry.
fine.
Normally my voice picks up everywhere I go. And you have to forgive me, this is procedure for here is new for me. I've only been over here a couple times for these. So Ms. Peck, under your complaint, you state that they've had sufficient time to repair this infrastructure. Is that anywhere in the ordinance says sufficient time, or if they've owned it since 30 years, it fell apart 2 years ago, is there anything in your ordinance that says, oh, well, that counts since they've owned it?
I'm just trying to show the facts of the case and to show that it's been dilapidated for a very long time and not last year, as she stated during the DEA meeting.
Okay, let's pull out your photo from 2018 that you have on this exhibit on the new thing. It shows the structure, shows a tree in there, but clearly at that time the structure appears intact. It's in disrepair, it's maybe unsightly, but it's still intact, not like the current pictures, correct?
Well, it is vacant and boarded up, but there are some significant issues with it.
Well,
I was just trying to prove that it's been that way for a very long time.
but it's not been that way for a very long time. In the
Well,
picture,
if you're comparing it to now,
correct.
which is it's imploding on itself, and compare it to that, then yes.
Okay, that's what I
totally
asked.
different. So what I'm saying is it's worse off now than it was 20 years ago. I'll grant you that, yes.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm getting at. In
Yes.
18, are you telling me in 18 this picture would have qualified and required demolishing or whatever under your ordinance? Is that what you're saying? That the 2018 picture would have required demolishing?
We cannot, by state code, right? Because clearly it looks like it could be rehabilitated, which is what I said in my presentation just a minute ago, that she had ample time to rehabilitate it back in 2018.
All right, but there wasn't a complaint in 2018, was there?
I wasn't here in 2018. There might have been. I don't know. I could
Well-
research that for you.
Well, but to the best of your knowledge, there was no complaint filed against my client or clients at that time regarding dilapidated structure, to the best of your knowledge.
Not that I'm aware of, but however, we're going by 2021.
Correct, I
Right.
understand.
Yes.
But I'm saying in 18, you're saying she had to repair it, but she chose not to. In your statute, correct, strike that. What's the, you're indicating it's saying it's dilapidated, but under your ordinance, you're saying it's for the, you're claiming it's dangerous for the public and welfare? Is that what you're saying?
The general welfare, yes.
Well,
It's hazardous, yes.
to who? Who's it hazardous to?
Anybody that steps foot on that property, or a small child or a teenager that finds it a cool hangout and goes inside of that building right now, has a potential of being killed. That is a liability on the property owner, yes?
All right, okay, it's a liability on the property owner, but you're not the property owner, and you're a governmental agency. You're saying that you have a right to regulate liability for individuals on their own property?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that whoever steps foot on that property has a potential of being physically harmed. That is in our ordinance, yes.
All right, but if somebody steps foot on it, they're trespassing unless they're there with permission. Is that not correct also?
That's not relevant to this case.
Well, it's...
I can trespass, anybody can go on anybody's property right now. That's not the point.
They can. You mean I can walk onto your home, walk on your home, walk around on your property, and I'm not violating any law?
Not that I'm aware of, unless you have a no trespassing sign.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
Let's ask.
I think we're
Yeah. let's keep-
I think we're going down a path. I understand where you're going. Ms. Peck is an employee of Planning Commission. But, the decision is going to lie with us. She's presenting information, and I understand what you're saying, but if we could kind of...
Well, unless I misunderstand, your ordinance requires a public hearing where she has to put on evidence and we can put counter evidence on, and I have a chance to cross-examine her. She's the testifying, the witness here.
Right,
unless
with the
I'm
complaint.
aware of anything else.
No,
And that's what I'm trying to get at. Now,
Okay.
I understand your procedure. You're all going to enter an order today and basically tell my client she has 60, assuming you do.
Right.
I won't make that assumption, sorry. But you're going to give her 60 days to get it fixed, or you're going to fine her. So I have a right to come after her, but ask her questions regarding this, because I'm trying to figure out what's considered dilapidated, what's considered overgrown vegetation, because I mean, it seems to be a completely arbitrary standard. I will agree that's unsightly even then, and I agree it's unsightly now, but there's other factors. And overgrown vegetation, well, what is overgrown vegetation? How bad? Is it 10 feet tall, 20 feet tall? And so what if it's overgrown? Now, if it's overgrown over a structure, we can't see it, and you walk in and hit it, I can understand that. That's why I was also trying to get at, who's she trying to protect? General public? Well, okay, then the alternative, that was one thing I was asked, what if you put a fence around it? Is that now protect the public from it? It's still dilapidated, but the concern is the public safety. So if I have a fence around it and I put no trespassing, does that solve the issue? Because I have a no trespassing sign and I have a fence completely around it. Therefore, what are you worried about?
Right.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to take any more of your time.
No, I understand.
I mean, but I just wanted to get some of those questions because
Sure.
I need them answered for myself,
Yep.
depending on how this goes. Yes, Commissioner.
Mr. Dorsey, please keep in mind that we're responsible for the general welfare of the community, and that would also include property values and obviously, that's one of the things that we would take into consideration, along with the fact that in 2018, as you say, the building looked like it might have been stable, but obviously it wasn't, or it wouldn't be in the condition it is today. So had we looked at it in 2018 and determined that it would have been necessary to have it torn down, we would have been correct in 2018. So now we're in 2021, and we have to make a decision based on the condition it's in now, not based on the condition it was in 2018.
Correct, Mr. President. My point was trying to make is in 2018, it was clearly looked like a solid structure. It may have been rehabable or so forth. In 21, based on the picture she has, I don't disagree it probably needs to be torn down. My client would probably say, don't disagree with you. The difference is its cost. This board or this ordinance is basically arbitrary. 60 days, get rid of it. It doesn't factor into any situation, anybody's economic situation, doesn't factor into anybody's health situation, the general what's going on in the area. It's completely arbitrary. And as to that, and I understand, I've sat here and listened to some of this, just what little I've heard. It does, 60 days, sometimes, yeah, it seems like, well, it's October. Bad weather could be hitting in. So that's what I'm trying to get at.
And Mr. Dorsey, you're correct, and that's what this governing body is here for, is we take those things into consideration when we make a decision. So I mean, your point's well taken, but we need to get to a point where we can make a decision in this. So if you would continue and try to...
Well, I'll try to wrap it up.
Okay.
If I understand this is being recorded, so it's going to be a record. So if something has to come from here, and I want to be able to have sufficient stuff to be able to go if I have to show it to another judge.
Okay.
Although, I don't necessarily want to say that, but I want to make sure I have enough down. So, as I was asking you, if the public welfare is your ordinance, if a fence was put up and walked it on, no trespassing, does that protect the public then from the dilapidated structure?
I would think you'd have to call the DOH first because that structure is so close to the road that you probably wouldn't be able to put up a fence.
Once again, Mr. Dorsey, I believe you're asking her a question that is the task that we as commissioners are supposed to make the ruling on. That's not for her to make that ruling, that's for us to make the ruling.
But her recommendation is destroy and remove it.
But I don't make the recommendation. The DAYA board makes the recommendations. I
But
only
you're-
present the facts.
Well, but at the day thing, there wasn't really, you didn't take testimony, that kind of testimony there, at least I understand. We do it more here, which is what you indicated to me at that hearing. And that's the way I understood it, and maybe I was wrong, but I'm just trying to make sure. I'm not trying to take the board's more of their time, I understand that, but
I'm just showing, can I make one more point?
Go right ahead.
I'm sorry. The reason I showed the age progression of the pictures is to show how long it's been sitting without nothing being done for it. And also to show how much it has changed from that point of 2018 to 2021. I'm not saying they should have rehabilitated it back then. I'm just trying to prove a point of how long it's been sitting vacant.
Okay.
Yes?
All right, I'll go to that. So if somebody has vacant property sitting on it and in a bad condition, they must do something about it, based on what I just heard. That's not, well, strike that. If I told you in 2020, during a storm, a tree fell on the building, or fell on the sign, and a vehicle hit the building, and because of the storm, the structure did collapse, you don't have any reason to doubt me. I mean, if that's occurred, assuming what I'm saying is true, you would have no reason to doubt
Well, from
that.
looking at the structure, it's something of great force hit that building, and now it's imploding, which means the foundation is actually sinking. It looks like I'll have to take my measuring tape, but it looks like 5 feet or so down into the ground. That's a huge hazard.
So if I tell you there's a basement under there, and that's where it's sinking into, you don't have a reason to doubt me either, do you? What I'm trying to say is you're saying it's sinking. I'm trying to say, well, it's actually collapsing into the basement based on what you're just saying.
Well, at any point, it is collapsing, which is what your point is
But
right there. It's
all right.
collapsed, all
But I'm trying
right?
to say, this occurred in 2020.
Yes.
And now, during 2020, we dealt with COVID. My client also, her husband has significant health issues. He's a diabetic, and he's currently in the hospital right now. They're looking at possibly taking his foot, and he may have to leave to go to Cleveland. I'm not trying to put that on, but I'm saying those factors in there. She did get estimates. 20 grand was probably the lower end of it, but that's significant. Now, it's my understanding this ordinance, your recommendation, doesn't offer any assistance or any financial help to get people to take care of it. It's just you come up with money and take care of it. That's correct? I mean, I'm not aware of any. I'm asking if I've missed something. I mean, she's the board. I didn't see anything in words. I'm just asking, does the board have anything, programs like that?
I wish. I'm
Okay.
looking into grants right now for people who have significant hardship.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
if
we
my
are
client
looking
has
into
significant
that.
medical issues and having to pay medical bills and so forth, that's a hardship on
That's
her.
something we could discuss if you like. Yes, we can get together.
All right,
Yes.
so if I say also, since this was taken, my client has removed the sign. She has cleaned up some of the debris on the debris, the wood and so forth that was out front. So that has been there making, but they can only make limited process because it's basically her and who she can get to help her do it. That you have no reason to doubt what I'm saying is true, right? I mean, since we're not trying to go, I'm just trying to make sure you understand. So she is working towards it, but she's working to it at her pace. So, but the board ordinance basically says 60 days. And what I'm trying to put forth to the board is, even if you give her 6 days, my client probably say right now, she doesn't think she can get it done based on the time of the year, based on, for another reason, equipment rentals are very difficult to get. I know I've been trying to get a skid steer for my property, put some posts in the ground better, easier. I can't get it, so it is tight. But also coming up with 20 grand out of anybody's pocket, I'm sure any of you or myself, it's difficult to come up with. So I'm not sure what my client would need to do if you do enter an order, how to get rid of it. And so that's where we are. I mean, my client is just basically would agree, but doesn't believe she can get it done in any sort of time frame that you all have. Then you're going to impose a fine, and then going to try and go after the property, take it, sell it, and make money. I'm just trying to offer that we do recognize the structure itself, which is basically it needs done. But I would have another question. If she just tore down the building and left all the rubble there, based on, I think, your own ordinance, that would still be a violation of what you say. So if you covered it with tarps, still a violation. I'm just trying to say, it seems it doesn't give any direction. Even if we could get it tore down, getting it hauled off is another story. We might be able to cover it up, but still another issue. So it's still expensive for any individual to do or take, and 60 days is probably insufficient. And I understand you can offer an extension, but you have to apply for it and offer it, make a move. And I don't know what the progress would be. So again, I still have concerns of what public welfare is, how this is protecting the public welfare, and we could protect it other means, other ways without doing what we have to do. You know, I've tried to put on some of the evidence we have, or argue in this, that on the ordinance. I'm still confused what overgrown vegetation is to me on what the ordinance is claiming. And these other pictures and the other satellites, you can't tell anything about them. They're satellite pictures, and they're all taken in winter months. So, you know, I don't know if that's considered overgrown. It's a bit hard to tell for me. I can't tell from these pictures if they are. And it's like take note. I mean, I just don't see it. I just see greens and colors. So
If you sit down and really study the picture, you could clearly see how the overgrown vegetation has grown since then.
But again, if the board's trying to go for that, overgrown vegetation, I go down the highway, I see overgrown vegetation all the way up to the road everywhere I go. Why isn't that being taken down? But if it was over the building, I mean, I understand the other gentleman here had stuff growing over the building and hiding the stuff, that makes sense to me when you're talking about overgrown vegetation. It's overgrown something that could be a hazard.
In the past, we have not had any sanctions against just overgrown vegetation. Now, we have had, just for your information, we have had a property owner that couldn't afford to tear down a structure that needed to be torn down and have asked the county commission to tear it down, pay the contractor to do it, and put a lien against the property for that amount.
Well, I understand, and that's part of the problem, is what we're looking at, is most of those contractors tend to jack the bids because they're hoping to get it and sell the property and take it. My client's, working towards it, and that's what she's trying to get at. If you enter the order, we're going to be back here again asking for an extension. We know that if you're in an order for 60 days under your own thing, even if we can show progress, it's going to be minor progress, not the progress that they want and everybody else wants in a quick thing. And I'm trying to put that before the board so the board understand. Correct, I keep calling you board commission.
Yeah.
She's the board. That's where it came from. So I'm just trying to inform that this is an issue, and it's got to be an issue more than just my client. I've already gotten several calls regarding this. Didn't used to be, so apparently they're taking more active roles now from clients who have issues and concerns on this. So for me, it's a sort of a new process trying to figure out, and I'm trying to also get guidance listening here what to do. So, is it best for you to enter an order for 60 days knowing I'm going to be coming back and ask for an extension? What does my client have to do to qualify for an extension? Even now, it's what I'm asking in your order. You need to provide some guidance of what you want from my client, from my clients, to qualify or show that she's at least working towards it, barring go spend 20 grand, tear it down. I'm just throwing that out there, to tear it down and get a lien put against it. There needs to be some sort of arrangement or assistance or guidance on what they need to do and how it needs to be done, because it's got to be done in a safe manner and so forth. You don't want to be getting hurt just tearing it down either. So that's where we are. I want the board to be fully aware, when you put in this order for 60 days, we're going to be back here asking for more time on this before fines get imposed. Because I know it can't be completed in that time.
All right. Any questions from the commissioners?
And one last thing, Mr. President. I would say, I would have more questions and more in depth, but I'm trying to accommodate the commission here. So not going
We
in depth
appreciate
on
that. We want to have a full and open hearing so that your client feels like they got a fair hearing, and that's what we're here for.
I understand.
And can I make one point real quick? Our ordinance for the Dilapidated and Abandoned Enforcement Agency is based on state code. Just want to let you know that.
It's set
Yes.
forth, I've looked at the state code, but it doesn't really follow the exact same thing. So, and that's part of the reason I'm here and part of the reason I'm looking at doing other things if I have to. So.
We'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
Anything else that I didn't cover?
Or is there anyone else in the audience that wants to speak to this case?
Nothing else. I'm not going to go into any other detail. I'll get.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing regarding case number 2021-41.
Second?
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is now closed. Discussion?
Well, I think it's obvious that, something has to be done. And I understand the time of year that we are entering in, and we understand that some of those issues surrounding this. And I will say that on previous cases, that when we do issue a final order, again, it does give 60 days, but speaking for myself personally, is I understand those issues. I understand the issues have been brought forth us. We need to see progress. Again, for us to define progress, it's hard to do, but we need to see that there is an effort to clean up this property. We understand that, where the property's been at for a while, and that, to me, that doesn't matter. When we're saying this is the property now, this is the hazard to the community, this is the hazard to our property values, we acknowledge that it needs to be cleaned up. We need to see progress towards that. And by issuing a final order, that keeps it in front of us, that keeps it coming back to the commission where we can review progress and see progress.
I just had a two-story house demolished, cost $8,000. So there is cheaper alternatives than $20,000 locally. I'll be happy to share that with Ms. Estes.
That'd be great, appreciate it.
And then if it's not possible for them to do that, and I understand that, you know, they just don't have it laying around, is to, as Commissioner Skidmore said, if a lien is put on your property, then you can pay the property can't be sold until it's paid off, and you know that. Or you could pay the county off at a later date next year when John's better, whatever. There's other options than just, you know.
And I will say that was alluded during the public hearing, you know, with the county going through a competitive bid process, we typically do see pretty good rates from contractors because they know it is a competitive bid process.
There is one other option. It's a long shot, but if financial hardship can be claimed legitimately through presentation of financial documents, there are some cases where the Solid Waste Authority can demolish homes. I'm not guaranteed that could happen, but that's something that you could look into. Our role here is to make sure that we meet the ordinances. There's a complaint been filed. We have to rule on that complaint, and that's what we're going to do tonight. Any further discussion?
I'll make a motion we rule a final order on case number 2021-41, giving 60 days until sanctions.
Second.
Have a motion and second. I would like to add that if we see some substantial improvement, then we could give an extension. But our policy has been in the past that we've had better success when we didn't give the extension up front, that we gave it later after people have shown substantial progress. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You have a-
I got some questions. Does that get mailed out or what? When does the order take effect? I mean,
As soon as you get the order.
as soon as you get it, so you
Yeah.
get the mail it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Case number 2021-62.
Yes, this is a formal complaint under the amended ordinance. I'm petitioning the county commission to accept and file the formal complaint against case number 2021-62. Kevin L. Childers, respondent. A written complaint was received on September 9th, 2021. The inspection was conducted on September 17th for property located at 87 2nd Avenue, Bancroft, West Virginia, tax map 1, parcel 67. Photographs were taken at the time of the on-site inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowner of the property is Kevin L. Childers. A copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowner did sign for the certified letter on September 27th, 2021. Return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The day of recommendation shall include removal of all debris and refuse from off the lot of record and to secure the structure. There are broken windows and things, it's not secure, yeah.
This one has broken windows, it's apparent.
Yes. Yeah.
But there has been no boarding up, no securing,
No,
easy access for kids or neighbors or whatever.
yeah.
Any contact from the client or from the landowner? Have you
He's
had any con-
called, but
Is he here this evening, Mr. Childers?
He has called, but I told him that this would be coming before county commission, so.
So it's before us to accept the case. I make a motion, we accept case 2021-62 as it's presented.
Second?
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. I make a motion, we file case 2021-62 as presented.
Second?
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021-58.
This is under the new ordinance as well. I'm petitioning County Commission to accept and file the formal complaint against case number 2021-58. Rex Thornton, respondent. The written complaint was received on September 8th, 2021. The inspection was conducted on September 17th for the property located at 362 Canal View Road in Red House, tax map 164A, parcels 5 through 7. Photographs were taken at the time of the inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowner of the property is Rex Thornton. A copy of the deed and her tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowner did sign for the certified letter on September 30th. A return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The day of recommendation shall include removal of all debris and refuse from off the lot of record, and that the structure be secured. This structure is vacant. No one lives here. There's tires on the front porch.
Did you receive any contact from Mr. Thornton?
No.
Is Mr. Thornton here today? I make a motion, we accept case number 2021-58 as presented.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion, second, a little bit of discussion. Did I hear you say that the recommendation is to demolish the home as well?
So safe. No, that the structure should be secured.
Secured, okay.
Yeah.
And remove the
Okay.
debris.
Have a
Sorry.
motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021,
I gotta file it too.
Oh.
I make a motion, we file case number 2021-58 as presented.
Second?
got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
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 Good.
Okay. Yes, this is under the new ordinance. I'm petitioning County Commission to accept and file the formal complaint against case number 2021-50, Kevin L. Childers and Allison L. Childers, respondent. A written complaint was received on August 24th, 2021. The inspection was conducted on September 7th for property located at 105 Second Avenue in Bancroft, tax map 1, parcel 92. Photographs of the inspection are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowner of the property are Kevin L. Childers and Allison L. Childers. A copy of the deed and our tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowners signed for the certified letter on September 27th. A return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The day of recommendation shall include removal of all overgrown vegetation, removal of structure, and all debris from off the lot of record. This is an outbuilding, has no roof, it's dilapidated. There's like trees and grass growing in the middle and coming up out of the hole. Just to let you know,
So
it's not a home.
Yeah, just a building. You see the trailer to the right in your picture. You're not talking about the
Right.
mobile home. You're talking about the. Okay.
The outbuilding.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Again, is this the same Childers that we had, same owner?
Yeah.
Okay. No Mr. Childers here. I make a motion, we accept case number 2021-50 as presented.
Second?
Have a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. I make a motion, we file case 2021-50.
Second?
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Case number 2021-08.
Yes, this one is actually under the old former ordinance, which means the property owner had a chance to submit a written response within 30 days. So I'm petitioning the county commission to accept and file the formal complaint against case number 2021-08, Brenda Humphreys, respondent. A written complaint was received on February 2nd, 2021. The inspection was conducted on February 4th for property located at 3949 Poplar Fork Road in Winfield, tax map 192, parcel 13. Photographs were taken at the time of the on-site inspection and are attached as Exhibit A. Public records indicate that the landowner of the property is Brenda Humphreys. A copy of the deed and tax records are attached as Exhibit B. The landowner did sign for the certified letter on February the 10th, 2021. The return receipt is attached as Exhibit C. The landowner submitted a written response within 30-day time frame. However, the DEA, after reviewing the response, did not find the plan to be appropriate based on the ordinance. Copy of the landowner's written response is attached as Exhibit D. The DEA recommendations shall include removal of refuse and any other debris from off the lot of record. So this case, of course, I mentioned it's under the formal ordinance, and the DEA board, they gave Ms. Humphreys, looks like a few extensions. One was 60 and one was 90, so she's had plenty of time to not only tear down the leaning barn in the road, but also remove all the debris. She has razed the barn, but the debris has been there. I inspected it once in August, and I sent Ms. Humphrey's daughter a notification to remove the debris, but she had no response back. I recently inspected the property again on October 13th, and I'm submitting before and after photographs of that. And the debris is still there. Just want to give you an update on that. Yeah.
Okay. Is there someone here regarding this case? So where this is under the old ordinance, we still accept the complaint, accept the case, and file the
Yes.
case?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. I make a motion, we accept case 2021-08 as presented.
Second?
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we file case 2021-08.
Second?
Motion is second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would like to take the opportunity to thank the county commission tonight, because it's been a long, 3 public hearings and these, so I appreciate that you all heard this tonight, and true troopers, I say. So thank you very much. Appreciate
you.
it.
Redistricting?
Get a couple more things.
Oh, I didn't.
We got a couple more things, sir.
We got a couple more. Stephen Andy's Enhancement Fund Grant Application Announcement.
Pass one of those. We would just like to announce that the 2022 Stephen A. Andes Recreation Enhancement Fund grant application is now open. We are awarding $60,000 total for projects for calendar year 2022. The application can be found on the Putnam County Commission's website, and completed applications are due by Friday, December the 3rd, 2021, and the grants will be awarded at the December 14th County Commission meeting.
Have we notified all the towns and cities that are eligible?
Yeah, everyone that has applied in the past, as well as all municipalities in the county, have been given those applications already.
And is that something that the Fair Board can also apply for?
Yeah,
Have they been notified?
They have. Yeah, we've been in talks with Andrew Parsons.
Okay.
So you don't need anything on that?
No, just a public announcement. That way, it's on record that the application process has begun.
Okay, the Family Court Memorandum of Understanding Agreement with the Supreme Court of Appeals for fiscal years 2021 through 2026. Who speaks to that issue?
Jeremy.
Yeah, I've got it today. We have a 5-year MOU agreement here that Larry has reviewed. This will continue the $1,623.50 per month that we receive for providing office space to the Supreme Court. This will be from 2021 through 2026.
Does this include space that we just did a remodel and
Well, it's still the same amount of space. The courtroom did expand, but it's still, it didn't expand their total footprint.
Did you satisfy yourself with all the wording in the Memorandum of Understanding?
It is essentially the one that we're under now. They added a couple provisions, but it's essentially the same agreement we've been working under.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the Family Court MOU agreement with the Supreme Court of Appeals for fiscal years 2021-2026 as presented.
Second.
Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
And authorize the president to sign.
That's an amendment.
Second.
He makes a motion, second. Motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Affirm the decision to file an injunction on public notice of sale of Ppsd office building.
Yeah, we put this on the agenda. This was a decision that was made in between the last commission meeting and today. A decision that was made electronically and verbally to file an injunction on the notice of the Ppsd sale of their old office building, which also contains a parcel that the Tays Valley Fire Department sits on. And that injunction, I believe, was approved as of yesterday, and we have not heard anything today. So we'll provide feedback for any future steps that we hear. Larry, do you have anything to add?
No.
Okay.
Make a motion, we affirm the decision to file an injunction on the public notice sale of Ppsd office building.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. You have orders, Jeremy?
I do have orders. The first order I have today is issue a check from the Putnam County Building Fund in the amount of $7,300 payable to Benchmark Construction for work completed on the Lake Shadessa Culvert Repair Project, which has now been completed.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
A motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Check from the TIF Fund in the amount of $143,170.66 payable to West Banco Bank, trustee for September 2021 TIF revenue.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Check from the Putnam County Building Fund in the amount of $33,503.50 payable to Ceiling Architects for design work associated with the Putnam County Sheriff facilities.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Order from the COVID-19 Fund in the amount of $28,327 payable to Stevens Auto Center for Sheriff Department cruiser.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Check from the COVID-19 Fund in the amount of $2,996.25 payable to the Putnam County General County Fund representing reimbursement of expenditures for COVID hazard and incentive pay expensed in October 2021.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Check from the Water and Sewer Fund in the amount of $6,300 payable to Terradon Corporation for engineering services for the Jim Ridge Phase 2 Water Main Extension Project.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Check from the Spay and Neuter Fund in the amount of $75 payable to Help for Animals for services provided.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Check from the Putnam County American Rescue Plan Fund in the amount of $74,500 payable to S&S Engineers for work completed on the Putnam County Fiber Optic Broadband Project.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Check from the 9/11/07 Fund to Frontier in the amount of $10,335.08 for phone switches.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Order from the 9/11/07 Fund to the following TriTech Software Systems in the amount of $47,656.37 for CAD maintenance.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the last order is from the General County Fund in the amount of $18,000 payable to the Putnam County Fair Board as contribution towards the 2021 Putnam County Fair.
Make a motion to approve the order as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Redistricting.
All we need.
Yep.
All right, let's do the redistricting. Is there anybody here, were you all here for a reason to speak?
A hearing, we had a hearing on his property.
Which one was that?
What was the last name?
Bird.
Yeah, well,
No, it's on the estates.
Oh,
So we'll deal with that later then?
We can, yeah.
Okay,
there's-
you're here on an estate issue?
Yeah.
You
Estate.
have one too?
That's
Brian,
all
would you
estate.
mind if we let them do that first?
no, sir, I appreciate y'all. I knew the attorney was there, and I'm sure those are billable hours, so
Right.
rather than me do it on the front end, I wanted to get the
Okay.
attorney out of here, so, yeah, we
Well,
waited this long, might as well wait a little
Okay,
bit
if
longer.
you don't mind, let's let them do that. Okay. Larry, you want to present them or?
I mean, I can, on the William Byrd case, Charles William Byrd, the estate's been open since about, Mr. Byrd died in 2017, March 7, 2017. Someone was appointed over the estate. The appraisement was filed. There was, I think, one claim that was filed by the Fire Service Board that was subsequently released. A short form settlement was sent to the new executor under the estate, and nothing has happened. It was sent again on May 27, 2021. Nothing was done to close the estate, so we scheduled it for a show cause hearing today. We didn't get any responses. We had everything served on the heirs, creditors. No response back from anybody.
Okay, so where do we go from here? Obviously, we have two people here.
Well, I don't know whether they're objecting to the administrative closure of the state or not.
I can't understand anything he's saying.
Okay,
No, he's not objecting,
What-
objecting to it, but what the process is when we come out and did the probate on his will, we had an issue with the gun problem, where his dad wrote it in ink on his will that it was supposed to go to a grandson, and he's under the age of 18, and instead of him writing it out to give it to his father to give to him when he got old enough, that's what was holding up the whole process, and they told us we couldn't go up there and cut the grass, couldn't live on the property, couldn't do nothing with it. So that's why we're in this process now of trying to close it all out.
But then when I come in the last time and talked to them, they told me they wasn't worried about the gun no more, that I could hold it until he was 18. Well, I've been offering to do that the whole time. And they kept telling me no, they wanted somebody to go get guardianship of him, of the boy that gets the gun, to receive the gun on his behalf. Well, then when I come in the last time, they told me they wasn't worried about the gun no more. I could hold it. They wanted me to go get a deed for the property.
Who's the executor, Larry?
Who what?
Who's the listed executor?
It is,
It was Andrea Frame, and she gave it to him.
yes, Charles
She didn't
W.
want
Bird.
to do it.
Okay, so he's the executor, and he wants it closed,
Yeah.
and you have no objection to it closing?
so we just get it closed then, right?
Yeah, it just needs to be closed.
Okay, so we're going to get it closed.
All right, thank you.
So you need a motion to
Close
that?
it all
Yeah,
up.
yeah, do we need any kind of motion or anything like that?
There's an order to that effect.
Okay, so we've already done that.
Okay.
So he just needs to come in, he's got to take possession of the gun. How does he go about doing that?
We've already got it.
You've
Yeah,
got
they've
it?
got it.
Okay.
We've had it from the get-go.
Okay, so we're going to get closed for you. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
got possession of the gun to hold.
Yeah,
it. He's
I've got the gun.
Okay.
Okay, and how long will it take to close it out at this point, Larry?
We've got an order here to close it. It'll be closed within the next couple of days.
There you go.
All righty, thank you.
That's an easy one.
Thank you.
All right. And is there another one?
There's two more.
What do I have to do now to get the deed straightened up on this?
Yeah, because we're still under his father's name. And then the way he wrote it up in the will, there's three kids got each house, but they didn't say what to do with the property. That's where we're having an issue too.
Yeah, it's all down there.
And there's nothing fiduciary can do with that. I mean, you probably just need to go talk to an attorney, get some legal advice on it, because the fiduciary office can't give you legal advice.
Because I called them and they said it was like $200 just to have him changed over into his name.
Was it part of the state?
Yeah,
It was given to you all?
it was given to his sister, and then his sister dumped it on him because she didn't want nothing to do with it on the estate.
So in the will, it's given to the sister.
Just the houses, it didn't say what to do with the property. There was 2 acres of property. That all three houses
Their own.
Yeah,
So it's all a package deal, basically, with your sister, right?
right,
So is your sister still living?
yeah.
And do what Larry said, contact the attorney, they'll probably do a quick claim deed for your sister. If you did the final settlement and all that.
Yeah, that's what we're doing,
Basically.
close out the program.
So the probate portion will give it to your sister through that process. Then your sister, if a quick claim deed would give it to you, but you need to go talk to the attorney about that portion of it. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Well, this is going to be administratively closed
But
because there's not been any type of a final documents submitted for a considerable period of time, 2 or 3 years.
is there final settlement though in this process?
No, that's what we've been waiting on.
So why aren't you finishing out your probate process rather than having it closed?
My dad left that gun.
I understand.
And a house.
But just the gun only is the whole package you gotta worry about. So you need to finish out the probate process for the land portion as well.
Well, she says we can't
we can't give him legal advice.
And then it's like when we got the lady downstairs, she don't know what to do about the deed.
Probably good to see attorney. You want to do it quickly because more people die, the more harder it is to get things in the right.
All right, Larry, who you got next?
I'm not sure who else is here.
Please come up and,
My name is Sarah, and my brother actually has an administrator and executor. He passed away in October of 2017. This estate is not closed. However, I have paid like his creditor bills and all that, so I know that's taken care of. I bonded him, and because he lives here, I don't live here. I live in Parkersburg. I drove up this evening. But he's not taking care of anything else. And I know that he moved into my father's house, and he was not supposed to. I have an older brother also that lives in North Carolina. He could not come today. So I guess my thing is I want him. I don't know if I need to take administration away from him so I can close this estate, but I need him out of that house too, because I've had numerous people come and look at the house, and I've almost had it sold, but he won't budge, he won't get out, he won't go for the listing price, he says it's not enough, but I don't know what to do.
Larry, is her brother the current administrator for the estate?
The person that was appointed was Paul Gwynn.
That's my brother.
Okay, so her only option would be to request the removal of him and replacement?
Well, and in the file, there have been 2 previous petitions to remove him, but they were returned. We didn't have a sufficient address to notify him.
Well, you didn't have a sufficient address for the brother.
Correct.
Well, if he's living in the home, we
He's
could
in my,
have him served, right?
yeah.
Should be able to, but we never got any information that he was living in the home and his address had changed.
Okay, so
We sent it to the address that he provided us when he was
I
signed up.
understand. So on behalf of the sister, if she's paying the bills now anyway, and they need to get it closed out. and
I did pay all the bills, but then in 2020, I came down here and gave him a certified check for the taxes for the house. And that's when I told him that was when the money train on my part stopped.
Okay.
And he got angry with me, and I've not spoken to him since.
So the only way to get it resolved is either have the brother close it out, or have somebody get a new executor. So if you wanted to file with the county here to get a new executor appointed, we could at least hear that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I just want it closed.
Well, if he's not willing to close it, we
So
can't
I
really
just
force him to
file.
close it.
Or it can be administratively closed by the commission for inactivity.
I just don't know what to do about the house.
Okay, is that what you want us to do? Administratively close it and let them work it out?
Well, and we have an order here this evening to administratively close it because it's been open. He was appointed in 2017. The bills have not been paid, with the exception of the Fire Service Board. There's still outstanding bills. Let me see here. I take that back. There was one claim filed. It was for the Service Board. It was paid. So there are no outstanding claims against the estate. We have sent him settlement forms back in 2018, again in February of 21, and he's never submitted anything to close out the estate.
So what's the will of the commission? Do you want to go ahead and close it out, or do you want?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's more than, we can't do, we can't get legal, we just need to close it out and let you finish it out, however you need to finish it out.
So she would have to,
We've already given a final order to close it, right?
There's
Within the
one
orders.
here tonight that would do that.
So you need a formal motion and to close that out, or it's already been done in the estate sale?
Like I say, the order's here.
So we need to do that now, is what I'm
You
asking.
can, yeah.
Okay. I'm making a motion, what's the name?
David Allen Gwynn case. It's the estate of David Allen Gwynn.
Okay. I make a motion that we close the estate for David Allen Wynn as it's been presented this evening.
Second?
okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone
Yeah, we
else?
got one more.
Excuse me?
Pamela Faye Chapman.
Okay, yes.
What needs to be done, Larry? Or what?
It needs to be closed. I've been waiting on my sister to come sign papers, and she won't do it.
Yeah, that's another one of them that's here tonight for potential closure by administrative closure. The daughter was appointed as administratrix, Misty Chapman was appointed as administratrix and on November the 8th, 2017, posted a bond for it. And there were only, looks like 2 heirs on the estate.
Kimberly Chapman and myself.
Yes. There were 2 claims filed against the estate, and there's still 2 claims outstanding for a total of $3,905.34. Short form settlement with the list of claims was mailed to the administratrix in July of 2018. The fees associated with the short form have been paid, however, the claims remain outstanding, and the short form hasn't been turned in. So it's just been laying there for years and
5
nothing's,
years.
Do you see any reason why we should not administratively close it?
no,
Okay.
she's apparently is okay with it being administratively closed, so it'll move on.
I make a motion that we administratively close the estate as presented.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we go back.
Yeah.
Now we're going to redistrict.
Well, and can you go ahead and I think the first one was Charles William Byrd.
Yeah.
Make a motion to administratively close that one as well.
Make a motion to administratively close the first estate we had to Bird this evening.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other ones you have, Larry, or are we done with them? Okay.
Well, there's several other ones that we have an order for. Chapman. There's one for a Terry Reed Koger that needs to be administratively closed for inactivity.
I make a motion we close the estate for Koger as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 And then the last one is an estate of David Wayne Woodall.
Make a motion we close the estate of Woodall as presented.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 You'll probably have to come again. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Right. Looks like a Hunter Biden drawing. I guess 75 grand for that. The Chinese probably.
All right, gentlemen, 'tis the season for redistricting. As you are aware, the West Virginia Code requires the county commission to reestablish precinct lines as well as magisterial districts for the purpose of redistricting, especially when a Senate district or a House district dissects a current precinct. What we have here, basically, starting from the top down, as you know, we've lost one congressional district. We are now in one instead of two, so one being the lower half of the state, two being the upper half of the state. So we'll be in Congressional District 1. When it comes down to the Senate districts, our map really hasn't changed. It's following the river, so our map, what we had previously is still south side of the river is Senatorial District 4, and the north side of the river is Senatorial District 8. When it comes to the House has changed. They went from 67 delegate districts, some multi in nature, to 100 single delegate districts. With that said, we have 3 contained solely within Putnam County, and then we have 1 section that goes into the Mason County area. So as you're looking at, these would be our old House districts. So this area here, the Hurricane area, went down into Lincoln, Boone, Logan, and those areas. The 15th was a single delegate district within Putnam County. The 38th went across Nitro and over in the Cross Lanes area, and that was the 38th district. The 13th district went up into Mason County and over into Jackson County, and that was a 2-member district. This was a 2-member district as well. This was a single-member district. And then we had the 14th, which was 3 precincts of our county that went over into Mason County area, and it was a single-member district. So now what's happened is they've changed it to where the Hurricane area, which is somewhat the same as previously, they added some precincts up here to make the 21st delegate district. So it used to be 22, now it's 21. The 15th area previously is now the 20th delegate district, because they renumbered them. And then the north side of the river, also 2 precincts on the south side of the river, which is 47 and a portion of 28, went to the north side of the river, and that's delegate district 19. We wrote a letter to the legislature asking them to return these folks to Putnam County and try to put them in with one of these 3 districts. Unfortunately, we were unsuccessful. They were really hesitant in breaking that 5% rule. All 3 of these are heavily populated, as you can see, more than the ultimate amount necessary when you break the state's population up by 100. So the folks here, there's about 1,000 citizens, not voters, but 1,000 citizens, roughly, will still vote over here for Mason County. And that district is called the 18th delegate district. So that's the Senate district and the House of Delegate districts. And then because of the changes in the House districts, then you get into one thing they did with the House districts is they didn't follow precinct lines. They did census blocks rather than precinct lines. So census blocks is here, 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 and they're all different shapes and so forth. So there's, when you talk about the map being a little crazy, that the white area represents precincts that are affected. So the white area represents precincts affected. So what we had to do was, in some cases, we had to create a new precinct, possibly. In other cases, we merged precincts with some other precincts. So for instance,
Might be on the back of that last one there.
so 30, they cut off some of 30 down through here, because they try to get as much citizens into the delegate districts as possible, which makes sense. Which means a portion of 30 and 32 had to go together. The delegate district line came across 32 and down through here, okay? So what that meant was there's an island of 32 and an island of 30 that had to be somewhat merged together in order to create a precinct there, because we have to isolate the people in this area for the 18th delegate district. We have to isolate the people in 32 in this area for the 21st delegate district. All right. So basically, what I did was I took the remainder of 32 and put them in with 31. From a precinct standpoint, it came down and it split 43 in half, which is our biggest precinct, has the most voters in that precinct, voted at West Tays. So half of this side of it went to the 21st delegate district, and this side of it went to the 20th delegate district. So what I envision is that we will merge this half with 33, because we have a 33-1 and a 33-2, which is an alphabet break, and make this a little bit bigger territory. They vote at the wave pool, so there's plenty of parking for the voters, and there's plenty of space for the precincts. And it's a secure precinct that we know we're going to get pretty much every time when it comes to elections. So basically, your big 43 now becomes your big 33. The remainder of 43 will remain at West Tays, and my hope is that it can be a single precinct rather than split on an alphabet break, just to try to reduce the amount of new voting precincts that we have, the space of poll workers, trying to find poll workers, equipment, and so forth. But code will only allow us to go so far with the number of voters per precinct. Okay, we'll know more about that once I get into the weeds of finding out who's in this area and who's the voters in this area, and pull them from one precinct to another, and get our precincts back in shape. So it comes down the line here. Previously, we had merged 29 and 24 together because we had lost our polling place out there at
Camp Appalachia?
yeah, I think that's what it is. Camp out that way. And because the Salvation Army moved it at that time, and it just gets run down and stuff. Now, I think the church has taken over, it's kind of built back up, and so I need to go out there and see if we can reestablish that precinct. And the reason being is because this house line cuts across 29 and 24. It comes down this way. So it basically mimics the old precincts, so to speak. So we need to cut this one off from this one and then reestablish that precinct out off of Fort Road there at that camp. So that took care of this area, and then up to the valley. As we go down further into 27, used to be on both sides of the road, and it was a pretty big precinct. They voted Scott Tays. And then there's a portion of 28 to 27, both sides of the interstate. And then a portion of 28 was kind of away from the base of 28. So what I did is I put 27 together with the lower portion of 28, being that it's on, because this precinct here and a portion of this precinct goes over for a delegate district. So here and here is this delegate district, 19. So since this was continuous with this, we made this a precinct in and of itself, and then 47 stays the same. 28, the remainder of 28 will be probably a single, 28 used to be 28-1, 22, an alphabet split at Bill Street. It'll be a single voting precinct at Bill Street still yet, okay? The 27 portion up here, we made it a precinct 12. We did a little bit of cleanup here in that people that was on the south side of the 35, we went ahead and put them in 41. The people that remained out of 28, this area here, we put them in with 12, okay? And then there's another portion of 28 this way that's on the other side of Winfield that we merged in with 11. So 11 kind of totally surrounds Winfield city limits, all right? So at the end of the day, nothing on the north side has changed as far as precincts go. So at the end of the day, I believe we will have, and my hope is when it all comes out, only one new precinct, possibly two new precincts, as far as when the alphabet splits, what can be merged, what can't. So as far as the shapes of the precincts, this is what I envisioned. Obviously, it's your all's call. Any questions, comments, concerns with the breakdown? We really, these delegate lines, though I understand why they did it, the whip census blocks, you're going from 67 to 100. It's hard to do, trying to follow precincts. If they had followed precincts, it would have been a lot easier on me, because now I'm not going into it. I'm not having to try to find out who's in this piece of pie that's the voter, who's in this piece of pie that are voters, who's in this piece of pie, and then merge these two together and do all that. So, we've been in touch with the West Virginia GIS department to try to help us geocode some of the voters, and hopefully through the addresses and voter information, we'll be able to identify those specific people, making it a lot easier on me to make sure that I get the people on the right side of the line, so you don't have somebody voting for, in 18 when they need to be in 21 and so forth. So that's the precincts. If there's no questions with regard to that, then I'll move on to magisterial districts. This is our current magisterial districts. And basically, your guidance, Bobby and I believe we put together what you all envisioned. So, 1, 2, and 3. 3 looks similar to your House of Delegate lines 21, 1 and 2, 1 being the right side of the Valley Road coming down, coming down through the valley, through Scott Hayes area, over to Nitro, and out through Poco Rock Ranch, that area, and down to Fulltown, I believe it is. And then the number 1 will be precinct 47, which starts around the interstate there, and moves up through the valley, and through Winfield, and expands out. 1 being our biggest district, only because we threw 30 into it, with 19,416. 2 being our second biggest district with 19,880, and 3 being our smallest district being 18,870. Now, when you add those numbers up, they're not going to come out to what the census says we have, but we did the numbers several times, and we can't figure out where they came up with those numbers, because when you add all the census blocks up, it's not coming out to the same. So, with that said, I was going to try to tell you what the difference was between the three. Have them somewhere. Okay, so 1 is 328 more than 2, and 1 is 546 more than 3, and 2 is 218 more than 3. So basically, you have about a 1,912 differential to make your 10% meets as far as what's required, and we're well within that, being only, the biggest one being a 546 differential. All the lines are contiguous in nature. This map does not redistrict out any sitting elected officials. And just for your knowledge, if you add those totals up, it's 57,374. 66 off from what the census said because the census says we should have 57,440.
We're missing 66 people?
I don't know. We've double checked it. I said, well, 66 people is not worth me paying you overtime, Bobby said, to try to find where it was at, because we've looked at and just for my sake, the GIS department came out with the same amount as we did, so I don't know where that. Of course, I know the census is dealing with a lot more counties and a lot more bigger problems than just us. So with that said, one of the requirements of redistricting is that for the precincts, that we must post it as a Class 2O legal advertisement, and for the magisterial districts, that we must post it at the courthouse, front of the courthouse steps, along with a public place within the 3 magisterial districts. So I can tell you that we posted it at Hurricane Post Office, the Eleanor Post Office, and the Winfield Fruit. For some reason, Winfield wouldn't let me post it at the post office. And then also it's downstairs on our board at the courthouse steps. We have ran an advertisement for on the 21st and the 28th. So our next meeting will meet the requirements of what's set in code. Typically, it was a 30-day notice and a Class 2O, I think 30 days prior. Because of the census being delayed and the legislature being delayed, they had wrote in the actual bill that it would be 15 days in advance for the Class 2O and 14 days for the public notice. So I have that there as well, and, the public notice, I have a copy of the public notice that we had put out there to people. Trying to think of what else. Larry, am I missing anything?
Nope, I think you got it.
Okay. I can give you the breakdown. Any questions, comments, concerns so far? If not, that's okay, I like that. If not, then what I'll do is, if this map meets your all standards and that's what you want to enter in an order on the 9th, then I'll get with Larry and try to help him word it based upon precinct numbers and different, or whether it be census blocks, or we'll get with Bobby and figure out, try to get a good description of each precinct and each boundary. If you want me to set an appointment with Bobby for you all to look and work on the map further, let me know and I'll do so between now and then. Obviously, I'm anxious for an order to be entered only because I've got to find the people in these little pieces of pie to be able to shift them and get all my precincts right, and then get my boxes relabeled in the warehouse and get my truck routes ready to go to know what equipment's going to go where, and readjust my polling place locations and my poll worker manuals, and it's just a never-ending list of things that it's going to happen between now and May. But so obviously I'm anxious on that. We do have to wait until the 9th to order anything. It was posted publicly that we'll have this meeting as well as the 9th, and then so the 9th would be the earliest that we could enter an order.
So you don't need anything from us tonight?
Not unless you need something from me.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Okay. Thank you.
Anything else needs to come before the commission tonight?
I make a motion, we adjourn to our next scheduled meeting, November 9th at 9 a.m.
Second.
Got a motion, second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.